Okay, so we're going to do some lower leg and knee rehab. And my props today are going to be a yoga strap, a untied elastic, and then I've got an elastic tied to a cord or tied to another yoga strap that's locked into a doorway. So I've made a knot and the door is closed, and we're going to use this one for like when we're flexing the foot back. So you need to work on like a range of motion in the ankle, right? A lot of us have foot issues. Also, we'll use our washcloths as well. So something to slide with. So we're working on the alignment in the knees, the hips, the ankles, the feet, trying to have as much mobility throughout the entire foot, ankle, and knee as we can get. As we get older, we lose that stuff. And also a lot of this stuff, a lot of the injuries, little injuries we have, that we never quite recover from, which is another big issue. So with the yoga strap, I'm going to put that around my right foot. I'm hanging on to it. Just a little bit of resistance. You're doing a yoga class. It's easy to have a yoga strap. You can use a belt. Just put a little tension in it. Nothing special here. So actually any piece of fabric could work here. Just press away. I've got a little resistance on it, right? You find a place where it won't slip off and just press away, press away. So I'm thinking about having as straight a line as I possibly can to that ankle, sitting up nice and tall, right? Pressing through it. Now, if I want, I can adjust by having each hand different, so I'm just focusing on that. About 12 of those, so I'm not really working to fatigue so much as I'm trying to just find an alignment. So I'm retraining, that's what I want to do. So I do this a couple times a week. Just press it away, good. Now if you have a pair of shoes on and you don't have too big a sole, an athletic shoe, it grips very nicely, which is good too. So just do that. I think I get a 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you adjust how much pressure you put on it. Now, when we're working on mobility, if you just put your foot out and start turning it in, turning it out, rotating, if you add a little bit of resistance to it, a lot of times you get a better release. So I'm hanging on to it. I'm going to pull on the inside part of the strap so I can get the knife edge of the foot out, flex the foot back so I can get a nice stretch on the outside of the calf through those tendons, the ligaments there. Good, nice little stretch. Lift your heart up and then you can press away a little bit. Good. Like if you've ever rolled an ankle when you've been out walking or running, this is a nice way to rehab that. Now take it the other way, right? So now I'm rotating out. Same thing, just pressing it. I've got more pressure in the outside, my right hand. Press away. And then I can just, again, have pressure on it and just rotate in, rotate out, rotate in. So that's more about your knee and your hip. Good. I can bring the knee in and then press out. Now I'm trying to figure out how my knee is going to track. If I put a washcloth or something that's slippery underneath, it makes it a little bit easier. I'm trying to get my knee to track. So I'm offering the resistance. Good for your arms too, and your back. Just another couple of those. Good. Let's go to the other side. I'm going to pull that foot, outside edge. Huge difference with me in the mobility of my ankles. I've had lots of foot issues and ankle injuries over the years. Go the other way, from misadventures. Good. And twist, press away. Again, it's trying to find out where the orbit is. Go the other way. Make up your own exercises, right? Rotate out, rotate in, out, and kind of study where your limitations are. You don't have to go crazy about opening them up, but just having awareness of it a lot of times. Comes on top. Again, I'm watching that knee track. Keep the ankles straight. Noticing any strange things that don't look quite natural. Another 3, 2, and 1. So there's only so much you can do in your ankle. Now if you get a hold of an elastic, these are fantastic because first of all they grip, and then when I really pull that thing in, that really grips and pulls that foot in. So I can use that elastic either way. Same kind of thing. Now I can have a set place for my hands and press away. And of course it has kind of a uniform resistance, which is really good in this situation. And switch over to the other one. Pull on it, pull it in. I don't obviously have too much of a pattern I'm working on because I've only got really 3 ways I can go on this. In this position, turn it in, turn it out. Some resistance. My left side is weaker due to injury and also just the nature of being right dominant. Good. So same kind of thing going on here. You can really load this up, and it's so much simpler than doing a squat on the leg, right? You can train. So you got lots of tension on there. Bring it in close. Send it out. I'm watching my knee track. Shoulders away from the ears. They just crept up. That. So I keep this very uniform shape. And again, I'm just training my knee to track. So if I have any clicking, a lot of times that'll go away when I get the proper alignment. Good. Same thing. Press it away. This also works very, very nicely for when you're working on opening up the hips a little bit. I don't know if I've got the room here. Just open up the hip. 1, 2, flexing that foot back. 3, 4, soften the knee. 5, 6. All right, so I got a little bit of resistance on it, which seems to allow it to open up. I don't know exactly the mechanics of it. Good, let it drift out. Bring it back in for 1, 2, soften the knee. 3, 4, 5, 6. So in terms of tools, washcloth, something that's stretchy. You can get the thinner bands that are heavier, but one of the things that's nice about this, same thing works if you have a thin-soled athletic shoe on. You get really good grip. Now this is the bomb. So I very rarely find a way to train that muscle in the front of the calf. Now this works really well with an athletic shoe on. Just lift it in for 1, 2. Get a little bit more pressure on there. Good. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now this has really helped me when I had shin splints. That and fasting are the 2 things that seem to help that the most. Probably for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same idea here. So I've got that under tension, belly's pulled flat. If I'm on the floor, I can put a washcloth underneath the heel and just pull that leg in for 1, 2, trying to get that knee to track. 3, 4, keeping that activation. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Gives a lot of space in the knee. Belly's pulled flat the whole time. You're always thinking about that cue. Make sure you get the same tension on here. Don't overwork one side with the idea that you're going to solve some kind of problem by overworking a side. Always work in balance for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. So I'm working the whole front of the foot. I'm working the front of the shin. At the same time, I'm trying to track and develop those muscles around the knee. Very, very stable way to work on that. And not a lot of weight, so you're not putting a lot of pressure more than likely you're not going to exacerbate any problems you might already have, and one would hope that we would make things better by doing that kind of work. All right, thank you very much for joining me, and let me know if this works and if you have any other ideas. Remember, you always can modify this stuff. There's going to be something that is going to resonate with you. Go that direction and invent new modifications, figure out new ways to work these things. A lot of times, if you put some energy and some focus into that rehab, that alone will help you with your recovery. All right, thanks. Cheers.